All right, so these are the last set of notes in the exponentials half of chapter 7. So write equations of exponential and power functions. How do you use your calculator to write exponential functions given points? So we will be using our graphing calculator to learn how to do this. Okay, so exponential and power functions in calculator, that is your topic. So write that in the left-hand column. All right, so really we're just going to do this, and you may want to write down the steps or the things that I'm typing into my calculator. Okay, so we want to write an exponential function whose graph goes through 112 and 108. So I'm going to make a table here real quick because this is what we're going to do in our calculator, where one of the ordered pairs is 112 and the other ordered pair is 3 and 108. Okay, so you go to your graphing calculator. The first thing we need to do is make that table. So to make that table, you touch Stat, and then we're going to edit. So we're going to pick Enter for that first thing. So we have list 1 and list 2. List 1 is your x's, list 2 is your y's. So then in our x column, we're going to put 1 and 3. So you hit 1, enter, 3, enter. Then go over to list 2, and we're going to type in the y values that correspond, so 12 and then 108. 12, enter, 108, enter. So you should have this. If there were numbers in your list 1 and list 2, how you clear them is you go up, you highlight the list, hit clear, and then enter, and it will clear out the whole list for you, so you don't have to go through and delete every single one. Okay, so it's 12 and 108. Okay. All right, then you're going to hit Stat again, and this time we're going to scroll over to Calculate. Then you're going to go down, we want an exponential function. So you're looking for EXP right here, reg. This stands for exponential regression. So we want exponential, so hit enter. And then they're just asking you where's your x's, that's list 1, y's are list 2, so that's default. And you're going to hit enter all the way down until you get to calculate, and then enter one more time until you get this. So they're showing you the form of the equation. Y equals some value a times b, which is your base, raised to the x power. So a is 4 and b is 3. So then we write our equation. Y equals, the a value was 4, times the b value was 3, and that'll be raised to the x power. There's your equation. Another way you could write it is where you put 3 in parentheses, like that. Either one of those works. Okay, so let's write out the steps, or write out the buttons that we did. So first, we did the Stat button. Okay, then we picked Edit from that list. So I won't put this in a rectangle because this actually wasn't a button. So this is where we hit Stat, and then we just chose Edit from the list. Okay, then we input our list 1 and list 2. So in this case, we did 112 and then 3108. Okay, so you entered that in your list 1 and list 2. Then we hit the Stat button again. So once you had that in your list, we hit Stat again, and then we chose Calculate. So Stat, and then we chose Calculate. And then we scroll down until we saw exponential regression. So again, that wasn't a button, we just had to scroll down until we saw that. And then we hit enter until it gave us the answer. There. So then I'll just write enter. It was actually a button that we hit. I'll put a rectangle. A rectangle means it's an actual button. And then I'll just put dot, dot, dot because you hit it until you get your answer. Okay? So that's what you do if they ask you for an exponential function and they give you 2 points, or they could give you more than 2 points, but 2 at the very least. Okay? All right, let's try example 2. Example 2 now is saying to write a power function. Okay? Now we're going to follow the same steps, but one difference is going to be made. So we're going to hit stat again. Then we're going to choose edit from that list. And then we'll do our list 1, list 2. List 1 is the x values, which in this case is 2 and 7. List 2 is the y values, which are 1 and 6. Then we're going to hit stat again, and then we're going to pick calculate from that menu. And then here's the different part. Since we're looking for a power function, then we're looking for power regression. And then we hit enter until it gives us the. So I'll put dot, 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 because you're going to hit enter a few times. Okay, so let's do that. So stat, edit. Since I already have numbers there, I'm going to highlight list 2, hit clear, enter. Highlight list 1, hit clear, enter. You could just type over it as well if you'd like to do it that way instead. So our list 1 is 2 and 7. And then the corresponding y values are 1 and 6. Then we hit stat again. We pick calculate this time. And this time we pick power regression because they asked for a power function. Then we hit enter, and then we hit enter some more times until it gives us the answer. Okay, now this time it doesn't come out to be whole numbers, that's okay. Now a power function is different in that the x is not in the exponent, the x is the base. Okay, so we'll round to 2 decimal places. So on my a value, so I'm going to write y equals, the a value is 0.37 times x to the b power, so b is now the exponent, 1.43 is the exponent. So that is your power function. Okay, so the difference between the power function and the exponential function we just did, in the exponential function, the x is the exponent, and in the power function, the x is the base. Okay, and it's nice that this, when you do this in your calculator, it always tells you what the form of your equation is going to look like, so there's no mistake. Okay, all right, so then exit slip, you try this one. Write an exponential function, so we're using the exp-reg, whose graph passes through 1, 6, and 324. So go ahead and pause, try it, and then unpause to see if you get the right answer. Okay, so the steps are going to be, you hit your stat button and choose edit from the menu. Then you typed in your list 1, list 2. List 1 should have been 1, 3. List 2 should have been 6, 24. And then you hit stat again. Then you pick the calculate from that menu. And then we want exponential regression. It's an exponential function. And then you hit enter until it gives you the answers. Okay, so stat, edit. So this time I'll just type over it. So 1, 3. And 624. Stat, calculate, and then this time it is an exponential function. Hit enter till it gives you the equation. So you get y equals 3 times 2 to the x. So you can either write it this way, or you can write it with a parenthesis if you wanted. So either one of those is correct. Okay, and that does it for notes. So go ahead and do a repetition. And then instead of having just a single worksheet on these types of problems, work on the review worksheet where it has 4 of these problems for you to practice on, and then it has some of the other problems as well.